So this really is about hearing from a real customer. 'Cause it's okay hearing what EBS say, but let's hear it from you. Tell us a little bit about what Trafalgar Scientific is and what you do specifically, first of all.
So what do we do? It's always a difficult question. We're an independent industrial microbiology supplier. So we operate in the remit of food safety predominantly. We buy and sell products. So we use a lot of purchase orders, delivery notes, dispatches. We use Sage, scanners, BI, you name it, we're using it. The journey started because our business owner, Matthew, had a relationship with a friend that was our current IT company, which we were growing, and we have grown quite fast over the past few years, and needed to challenge Sage, challenge what we're doing, and take the security to the next step. So we found and started with Richard and Simon 3 or 4 years ago. We were trying to work out if it's before or after COVID.
It was just after COVID. I think you bringing in the security piece and obviously Sage, and you'd expanded massively. You could probably put some context in terms of figures around that. But I think Sage was creaking, to be fair. There was some inefficiencies and some issues that you were experiencing. And I think that's kind of where the journey kind of started, really, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. So what made you take that leap to go to EBS from a current supplier? I mean, obviously it's Richard's charm, but apart from that, and Simon's charm, and the other side, I mean, the charm.
Simon's love for caravans, which is
a
different story that we talk about. Basically they offer a service. I don't know if the people in this room understand what it is. They do a health check. So you have the initial sales call. So Richard's charm woos you, and Amy decided to go ahead, and they come in and they present this health check, which sort of screens and gap analysis, everything that you're doing. So that was quite important for us. And what I did do from an integral point of view is I did challenge that then with somebody that I know externally to say, we've had this health check, it's cost us this is what they're suggesting, what do they think? And this person I know said, yeah, absolutely, what they're writing in there we would advise has come in as an independent stuff that you need to look at. It was like wrist, green, amber, red, which you all know what those colours would mean. More red than green is not great. So we made that decision that what you've already done is given us the trust that you're offering us an integral audit. It's not just come with us and we know we're telling you what we want to hear. And that's when the journey started. And then the first major project we did from that was changing our servers from what we had to new servers on site. They were outdated, they were old, and the cloud. And it was actually Amy who, I'm taking a lot of credit for this, it's actually Amy who won't come on stage and take the credit for this. This is the integral part of what we do, was actually moving off, who's doing it again on maternity leave. This is the second time she does this to me. And I was worried about, well, who's going to run the project? So, and I'm trying to remember the chap's name that did it with us on our behalf for the server rollout. Can you remember his name?
No.
No, I can't. So
I can fire some names, but
I can't remember his name. But basically, we did a whole project internally. So we had to risk assess what we were doing. The department managers had to be involved. You're moving everything on from one server to another, and it's a whole uplift. And that went incredibly smoothly. It was about a 4 or 5 month project. So I think that gave us the complete confidence that we've made the right decision, which then opened up, right, well, now we move on to project work and further development.
So really what you're saying, I think there is, you've got that initial, not who are these guys, but you've got that initial assessment, and that built some trust. You've then taken on another project, that went very well.
Correct.
And so that's sort of deepened the relationship in terms of what's next. Did you have an idea of what was next, or was it based on their recommendation?
Yes, but then again, I think what Richard and Simon are very good at is they don't just take your idea and just build it and develop it. I know we talked about development. They'll actually advise you, is this really what you want to do? Is this the best thing? Or they'd even advise you, strange enough, against it. They say, actually, no, that's probably not where you should put your investment in. Actually, this would be better. So they actually end up saving you sometimes money, or a journey that will further down the line not be the right decision. So you end up feeling that it's more of a partnership, I'd say, than we're paying for a service and just getting something back. They're in the journey with us.
Right.
It's easy to blame them then as well.
Sure. Feels like there's integrity there, is what you're saying in terms of.
Yeah, massive thing. Yeah, absolutely.
And the idea of partnership is an interesting one, I think, because you're saying you don't necessarily feel like a customer, but it's more like they're on your side, they're helping you meet your objectives, or that kind of thing. Who's involved in it from your side? Like, is it like how many people are involved from Trafalgar Scientific in communicating with EBS on a daily basis, or ongoing?
Well, it tries to be funneled through Amy.
Yeah.
And now a chap called Jack, who's our IT support. Ideas come from all corners of the business, which creates more ideas that you then go down a rabbit hole, and then you end up, is that the right decision? So they come from all angles. So we've got
90-day plans as well.
We do our 90-day plans, which we try to stick to. But that's what I'm saying back to, we have monthly meetings with EBS, or Amy does, to align again what we were trying to do originally. And that's where these guys are really good to step in and keep us focused of what we're trying to do, or focus on that project to move on. So ideas can come from all angles, really.
And is that just from a technology perspective, or are you saying that the 90-day plan reflects the business's overall objectives and where it's going? I'm trying to get a sense of how involved are EBS in the business and where the business is going.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do annual objectives, we do company objectives, and we break them into 90 days. I think you get involved in a mixture of all of it, really, don't you? So
I think there's two sides to every story. I think in terms of from our side of things, there is so much coming from Trafalgar. It's so many ideas. You want to do everything, and it's just trying to put a little bit of structure in there, helping Amy out in terms of funneling that through. And I think that's the phased approach. So doing that health assessment, doing that audit, doing the phased approach, looking at return on investment, quick wins, and then kind of delivering it back and being told no, and then we go and redo it again, and we come back and we kind of agree on a plan, really, don't we? In terms of kind of how the relationship started, it's just a very small contract that we initially started to talk to yourselves about, and that has evolved and snowballed in probably 18 months, 2 years, probably a little bit longer actually, thinking about it, into pretty much everything within reason. The EBS supplies kind of coming through us, but that helps us kind of control what you're doing. We've got a better understanding of the other applications that you've got running on your systems. So even if we don't supply them, we can kind of bring that into consideration.
From an operational perspective, what's the relationship like between you and the team at Trafalgar?
Yeah, so we try to stick to our monthly meetings. Every month we'll have a call with myself, Richard, Adam sometimes joins us, Amy, Jack. More about this is what's happening, this is how it's going, are there any problems or things that have cropped up during that month, what's next, looking at all things, support, etc., on all elements of the business. There's also times when we'll get a phone call with an idea, and that then sparks a new project, whether that be some of them quick moving, some of them not so quick. And it's, I've got a personal relationship with Amy, with Adam, and other people, some of the sales team as well, on CRM systems and things that are in place, finance. So it's a very active relationship. There's lots of regular contact with ourselves, with our support teams, implementation teams as well. So, yeah.
And how valuable is that to you from that relationship and that collaboration perspective? How valuable is it to you in terms of running the business or being able to provide the services that you want to for customers like Trafalgar Scientific?
Very good. I think it allows us, collectively, the EBS, us, to have a good rounded view of customers like Trafalgar. We want to do it more with more customers. It can be quite hectic at times. It can also be quite satisfying for us to know that we've helped someone achieve what they set out to achieve. But yeah, I think it gives our business a good rounded view of Trafalgar as a customer, so that when a support call comes in, everyone's aware of what's going on. There might be a project that's running that's had an impact on something else. Everyone's aware of it. It's mitigating risk and things as well.
So how do you get that information to your team? We saw earlier with Sandy how many team members there are at EBS now. How do you ensure that all of that key information about what Trafalgar does goes to the people who will pick up the phone for a support call?
That's why I'm so busy. But no, so we've got internal handover processes. So at key points during projects, we'll relay that information to the relevant teams that need to. Generally, when projects, no matter whether they're small, large, medium, there's a internal communication process that goes to the entire business. So all other teams, so we, from a technical support aspect as well, they'll need to be aware that this software has gone live or this software is now being tested, because it'll have an impact on technical aspects as well. So, yeah.
Fantastic. I'm going to leave the last word to you, Adam. What does all of this mean for you guys going forward? Where do you see the relationship going with EBS? What sort of other projects have you got on the cards that they're going to help you with?
Well, I think you've just received a 25-page document about improvements that we want to look at moving forward.
That's a lot of pages.
It's a lot of pages. We've moved into online ordering, which has opened up a huge amount of work that we want to do. So you can imagine what the online world is now and what you expect when you place an order. So it's challenging Sage a bit further and beyond that now about, right, this is what we want as a customer experience. Online ordering is huge now. So we're learning that journey together. So we've done a scope analysis internally. Again, Amy ran that project, sat with most stakeholders in the business and myself to say, what does the department want to see? What does the customer need to see? What is Sage doing now? What can't it do? And then we forwarded it over to these two to tell us, oh my goodness.
This kind of came off the back of the development project that we did with yourself. So obviously we just talked about development with InsureAlert, but I'll let you to explain it just very quickly, but in terms of the pricing update process that you had to go through, which was probably the first big kind of project that we did for yourselves, there's quite a lot of savings there, isn't there, from a time point of view?
Yeah, so we had, I think, is it 13.5 million pricing lines? Because we had a price against every line, against every customer, against every product. So you multiply that by, how many customers did we have? 16 million is basically the number of what we had originally of a price per product, and we've reduced down to below 80,000. So that allows us to have a more of a discount structure, or a way that we can price better for our customers to be more dynamic and efficient. And the industry we're in, the rules change quite dramatically, from allergens and allergic testing to just recently some bespoke work on hazardous goods. So if a customer wants to place an order online for some acid that's used in a laboratory, where's that going? It's, from the Parsons Green attack and the Manchester bombings, are we making sure it's gone to a responsible person and it's not used for the wrong reasons? So some quick works had to be developed to make sure that we get the right ID back, which creates a GDPR scenario, because you're holding an ID from individuals now that are placing orders. So the industry makes us evolve quite quickly.
A lot of moving
regulations, a lot of moving parts, which is why a lot of the work we give you is stuff we have to do now and react, and some of the stuff there's a wish list. So it's balancing it. So yeah, this page of extra work is, what is online doing? What do we want to do moving forward? What's the industry asking us for? So if everybody could keep Richard and Simon free to cope with this amount of work.
And I think just to add as well, the fact that we've got the technical team, a very good, long-standing, knowledgeable technical team, allows us to, be aware of the security risks, internet, that kind of thing. I'm maybe a Sage expert, but I'm certainly no technical expert. So leaning on those teams as well in-house allows us to, make sure that we're covering all bases.
Fantastic. A great story. I love the way that it was built on foundations. And it looks like you're moving ahead with the business with the help of your partners at EBS. Thank you very much.